Right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sa anuman pong oras ninyo pinapanood po itong ating lecture. Okay, so to continue our discussion, last meeting we have reviewed that the GSR is not a conclusive test. And there are two types of test na kung saan pwedeng magresulta ang GSR. Positive and the negative. If your GSR result is negative, then it's okay. If your GSR became positive, you will be undergoing to the confirmatory test. And confirmatory test has the same tests as preliminary test. We have positive and negative. Once your result is confirmed or positive under the confirmatory test, then that's the time that you are okay, you can be concluded as positive of a firing, okay, the gun. So the context, sabi ko, to reiterate that GSR po, no, ay not conclusive test. Pwede tayong mag-test ng gunshot residue sa kamay. Ang tawag doon ay skin test or paraffin test. Pwede naman tayong mag-test ng gunshot residue sa damit. Okay, ang tawag doon ay Walker test. May mga iba pang test such as Harrison and Gilroy test. These are used also by the scanning electron microscope. The main element or substance we are detecting in the GSR is the nitrate. However, we need also to learn that there are false positive. Okay? There are substances that would cause false positive under nitrate. So here are the nitrate containing substances. We have the fertilizers, cosmetics, tobacco, urine, printing ink, and explosives without firing. That's why I mentioned na you can be positive of nitrate kahit na hindi ka nagpaputok ng baril kapag ka-smoker ka ng tabako. Yung ihi mo pwede ring maging nitrate containing din yan. Kasi nga, yung nitrate minsan pwede nating makuha doon sa canned goods. As yung mga canned goods natin, meron yung mga nitrate containing element because nitrate can also act as preservative. And also for the fertilizers, yung mga magsasaka, farmers, yung mga nagga-garden, they can be also tested positive in the nitrate. However, it is called false positive because these are nitrate containing substances from the other resources. Now, parang ganito yan. Para lang magets ninyo, pag kami nagtanong, pwede ba akong mag-positive ng nitrate kahit hindi ako nagpaputok ng baril? Yes. Okay? Paano mo yan malalaman? Skin test or paraffin test. Okay? Kasi ang ginagawa ni paraffin test nga, okay, with the presence of diphenylamine reagent, the diphenylamine will absorb the nitrate substance from our skin because the skin has pores. Okay, nakuha po. So, you will turn out positive kahit hindi ka nagpaputok ng baril. Okay? Kaya nga siya tinawag na not conclusive result or evidence. Kaya hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, uy, nagpaputok ka ng baril dahil positive ka ng nitrate. Hindi po. So, pagka ganun ang case, kailangan ipunta mo siya sa confirmatory testing. Nakuha po. Kailangan ipunta mo na siya sa confirmatory testing. Paano pagka nagpaputok siya ng fireworks, ng piccolo? Pwede. Tapos malaman mo, smoker pala siya ng tobacco. Pwede. Yung palang mga kinakain niyang canned goods, merong mga preservatives. Pwede. Mag-positive ng nitrate. Okay? So, yun lang po yung pinaka-point natin. So, I do hope that you understand the concept of paraffin. Nakuha po? Now, kaya nga meron pang isang test. Yan na yung tinatawag na Walker test or clothes test. So the purpose of this test is you are going to determine the distance of fire. Since our topic focuses on the um, gunshot residue, firearm discharge. So let us dig deeper on the context of firing a gun. So ito yan. Kapag ka naman ang usapan na, context na, nagpaputok na ng baril, humawak na ng baril. Oh, talagang paraffin test, positive yan ng nitrate. Okay? Tapos, since nabanggit natin nga ang paraffin ay hindi conclusive evidence, then you use the clothes of the gun firer. Okay? So, gaano ba kalayo yung pagpapaputok niya ng baril? Ayan. So, how are we going to determine it? You immerse it with 5% 2-naphthylamine and then 8-disulfonic acid. So, this test is also known as the modified grease test, wherein it detects the nitrites around the bullet hole. So, that's why you should know the parts of the bullet under ballistics. So, at the bullet hole, okay, that's the main objective and that's the main part of what Walker test is detecting. I'll repeat. Walker test is a modified grease test that tests the bullet hole. Okay? So, it results to orange-red pattern. Again, pag paraffin test, blue or blue specks pattern. Pag Walker test, orange-red pattern. So, how to interpret? If the firing is close range, there should be a dense pattern appearance. If there is a sparse pattern, ibig sabihin medyo malayo yan. If it is no pattern, ibig sabihin masyado lang malayo. Okay? Ganun po yun. Kaya, ang kagandahan po sa forensic chemistry at sa crime scene investigation, if you apply the scientific tool, pwede natin ma-determine kung binarilan ka ba malapitan o binaril ka ng malayuan. Yun lamang po yung pinaka-point po neto. So, ito po yung ginagawa natin sa Walker test. Meron diyang photographic paper, tapos meron dyan yung stain, isaswab natin siya using the cotton buds. Pagkatapos, yan, paplansahin. Okay? Parang pinapatag mo. Ganon. You are flattening the photographic paper. Ganon po siya. Tapos, magmamarka po yung residue. Okay? The residue will leave a mark. And that is the purpose of that one. And we use acids there. Yung mga chemical reagents na na-mention nga po kanina. Okay. So now, we are going to test also the metallic or primer residues. Diba? We understand already what part of the bullet, okay, is primer. Sa may bandang, ito yung primer, ito yung pinupull or pinupush, okay, ng firing pin. Kasi sa primer po may mga elements din yan. Ang primer ay may elements. Lead, barium, tapos antimony. It is also the common method for scanning electron microscopy. Sorry, nabanggit ko ata kanina yung Harrison and Gilroy ay gagamitan ng scanning electron. Actually, on your module, you just memorize the difference between the Harrison and Gilroy. Kasi nga, I know, Harrison and Gilroy tapos grease. Diba? Acid lang yung diferensya nila. Okay? Yun lamang po yung tandaan ninyo. Okay? Pag alam mo na yung acid, then alam mo na kung ano yung test na kapartner niya. However, when I talk about the scanning electron microscopy, which I sent already the principle yesterday, kindly watch na lang. The SEM, okay, is essential in detecting the elements of the primer. SEM is essential in our field because it detects the structure of a virus. SEM is essential to your course because it detects the elements present from the primer. So this will explain to the modern forensic labs about, okay, the metallic detection than the paraffin. I'll repeat. This explains that the modern forensic labs rely more on metallic detection than paraffin. That's why paraffin test is like a supporting test. And once you turn out positive, that's the time they will focus now on the um, primer parts of the gun to really confirm that you really fired the gun. Right? Now, using the scanning electron microscope, okay, we are able to determine these elements: lead, barium, and antimony. And also, we need to understand that in forensic lab, we are testing the gunshot range test. So ito lang, simple lang. You just focus on the distance and the size. Look at Roman numeral number 3. It states there that as the distance to the victim increases, the size of the pattern increases, while density decreases. Okay? That is known as the gunshot range test. So, to further expound, please take note in Roman numeral 1 of the gunshot range test, it states that when a gun is discharged, gunpowder residue may also be deposited on the clothing of the victim. Okay? Actually, gunshot range test is associated under the Walker test. Okay? The size and density found on the clothing as well as the pattern of gunpowder will determine the appropriate distance of the firer to the victim. GSR or gunshot range test or GRT is under the Walker test. 'Di ba? So yan yung pattern. Sa Walker test, pag nag-test ka, kapag yung distance sa sobrang taas, ibig sabihin mataas din yung size ng gunshot residue. Ibig sabihin kung maliit ang size ng gunshot residue, maliit din ang pattern or maliit din yung distance. Nakukuha nyo? Okay? Again, yung size ng gunshot malaki, ibig sabihin ang distance malaki. Pag ang size maliit, ibig sabihin ang distance maliit. Ibig sabihin proportion or proportional yung size at saka yung size of the pattern at saka yung distance. 'Di ba mayroon tayong dense pattern kanina, sparse pattern? O yun. Nakita nyo naman kanina din yung photography, yung itsura ng gunshot residue under the photographic paper. 'Di ba? Ganon. Next, we have also the neutron activation analysis, which refers to the use of access of nuclear radiation. Okay? So, we are detecting the gunshot using the radiation, nuclear radiation. Also, let us be familiarized with the following stabilizers. Stabilizers are chemicals that prevent the side reactions during firing, which produce positive and negative catalytic effect. It is also the active component of gunpowder. Okay? Under it was the nitrate. And there are kinds. We have organic and inorganic. So under the organic, we have the nitrobenzene, graphite, vaseline, and under inorganic, we have the nitrates, dichromates, and oxalates. Okay, so this is now the Harrison and Gilroy test. Another test for the primer components, no? So we have um, ito for the Harrison and Gilroy 0.1 m HCl yung ginamit mo. You just swab the primer with 0.1 m HC. Okay? And it turns red. Okay? It will turn a red color with sodium rhodisonate. And if you add 1.5 mHCl, then it turns blue-violet and then bright pink. And please take note that Harrison and Gilroy test lacks sensitivity. Next, ito na po, HPLC. HPLC is high performance liquid chromatography. Okay? And the chromatographic principle, I sent it a while ago. Okay? Which analyzed the pre-cleaned hand swab extracts obtained from hands after firing a revolver. We have also here the PMDE or the pendant mercury drop electrode detector, which detect 1 nanogram per swab of nitroglycerin. So where did we encounter the nitroglycerin? Diba? We encountered that during the start of our discussion on the gunshot residue. Diba? Ito ay nasa kategory ng mga smokeless powder. Because smokeless powder has three classifications: the single base, double base, and the triple base. Right? So, is it possible to detect the 1 nanogram of nitroglycerin? Yes, using HPLC. Because the idea of HPLC or chromatography is more on separation of the mixture, separation of the solution. Also, we have the fluorimetric detection. Fluorimetric detection, it is one of the most sensitive, selective modes of detection. Organic constituents of gunshot residues identified by molecular luminescence. Ganito kasi yan. Sa fluorometric, pag sinabi nating fluoro, okay, fluorescence. Yung word na fluoro galing sa word na fluorescence. Ang kulay ng fluorescence ay green, bright green, apple green. Nakuha. Okay? I'll repeat. Fluorescence, dyan na-derive ang salitang fluorometry or fluorometric method. Nakuha, class. The color of fluorescence is green, bright green, apple green. Okay? Ito po ay light emission. Okay? Pag sinabi natin light emission, imagine nyo, pag yung ilaw, pag nagsisindi kayo ng laptop, ng PC, di ba iilaw bigla? Imagine that is a apple green color. Pag may nangyaring ganon, okay, pag may nangyaring ganon, yung parang pag-ilaw, luminescence, pagkinang, shining. Okay? When there is a fluorescence occurred, after in contact with the gunshot residue, okay, that is known as fluorometric detection. Kikinang yan. Shine bright like diamond. Apple green. Occurs kapag may gunshot residue. That's what fluorometric detection is being done. No? We have also the supercritical fluid chromatography, which follows also the step of chromatography. No? However, the mobile phase of the supercritical fluid are CO2, N2O, NH3, or SF6. Next, we have the capillary electrophoresis. Capillary electrophoresis provides a high resolution separations of a complex mixtures. Okay? So under this, the process are carried out by the electrophoresis and the electroosmosis. Okay? Pero ang concept lang naman nito, guys, Okay? Ang concept lang naman nito is separation pa rin ng mixtures. Again, pag sinabi kong mixtures, isipin nyo na lang yung kape na nakahalo sa tubig. Okay? Kapag kayong kape na powder hinalo mo sa tubig, syempre magiging black na yung tubig kasi nagsama na sila. The union of solute and solvent becomes solution. And a solution is a mixture. Mixture kasi magkahalo yan. Okay? Dahil magkahalo sila, can we possibly extract the caffeine powder from that solution? Yes. Using extraction. Okay? And we can also separate the mixture using electrophoresis. It is a high resolution, okay, method of separating the complex mixtures. Nakuha? Electro uses current or voltage. Phoresis means migration. That's why electrophoresis is a migration of molecules using or through current. I'll repeat. Electrophoresis is you are moving the molecules through current. Kuryente, voltahe ang gamit mo para mapagalaw ang mga molecules. Nakuha ninyo? Okay. Osmosis naman, ito yung pagpasok ng mga molecules sa mga semi-permeable membrane. Ano yung membrane? Parang pintuan yan na maliliit. Okay? This takes place naman on the cells. Okay, next, explosives. Explosives are substances capable of exerting an intense pressure on its surrounding due to sudden increase in the volume of the substances. Okay? So the volume of the explosives increases due to the following: physical changes, chemical changes, and the nuclear changes. Change is accompanied by an intense heat and flame. Okay? So, saan ba applicable to? Sa nangyayaring war ngayon between US, Iran, and Israel. Diba? Plenty of detonated bomb. Okay? And heat and flame are also involved. Nakuha? So, explosion is defined as an act of exploding. Okay? Rapid combustion, decomposition of gas with violent increase of pressure. Detonation is a violent explosion resulting from instant decomposition of unstable compound. So, ang detonation, kusa na lang yan sumasabog dahil nga unstable siya. Parang pag unstable, sensitive, konting init lang sasana. Okay? Ganon. Next, classification of explosions. We have mechanical. So, mechanical is an explosion due to expansion of gas that produces high pressure beyond the capacity of the container. Atomic explosion is the explosion due to atomic or nuclear energy. Kaya nga pag sinabi mong atomic bomb, ito ay bomba na dahil sa atomic or nuclear energy. At pag sinabi natin nuclear, so that's a very high napakalakas na spectrum ng energy that damage the cells. Chemical explosion due to rapid transformation of unstable substances, formation of heat. How to analyze explosive? We have friction test. Okay. So these are explosive materials when rubbed against the rough substances. It uses the stone slab. So pag sinabi mong friction, parang ajingi pa nagkaskas mo ti bato kun bato. Yun, friction, di ba? Just to cause ignite or ignition. Impact test, syempre pagka ando na yung word na impact, pupukpukin mo, di ba? And also flame test. You burn it with piece of paper. Ito na po yung isa pang type ng chromatography, TLC. It is the simplest and most widely used. Okay? So, the result of TLC using grease reagent spray is to detect the nitrocellulose. Smokeless powder na naman. Diba? Single based. And then we have also the alpha naphthylamine to produce a red azo dye. Ito na, GLC, another type of chromatography that separates the complex mixtures. So we have here flame ionization, electron capture, and the TEIA, or thermal energy analysis, which are very selective detector for explosives. The keyword there is selective detector. So here are the color reaction or wet method, and also we have the infrared spectrophotometer and solubility test. So under solubility test, we have the carbon dioxide and sulfide, and also water. Okay, for the gun cotton, water turns insoluble, and then for alcohol, it is slightly soluble, and soluble naman for acetone and other